What calls me to my best self and is engaging others who do bold, selfless, fabulous, queer, and radical things for others. In the mid-1800s, while way too many people in our nation tried to make peace with enslaving people, Unitarian Reverend Theodore Parker put war on these atrocities. From his Boston pulpit, he preached rebellion to injustice, and he did it as righteousness. He declared that every slave catcher should tremble before the moral law of God. He not only harbored enslaved runaways in his home, but preached abolitionist sermons with a loaded pistol, often, the story goes, by his side to protect from the white Christian nationalists who might storm in the church. His many words carved fire into the consciousness of our nation. You might think of these words as MLK, but a great Baptist preacher, but they came from our Unitarian Reverend Theodore Parker. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Reverend Parker didn't just believe in that big arc, he struggled to bend it with faith that refused to be silent in the face of fascism. On March 23rd, 1972, Dr. Angela Davis walked into the courtroom down in San Jose with her afro picked fully out and her fist raised up in the air. She became a living embodiment of Black power. Falsely charged, she didn't shrink back and apologize. She commanded the room with intellect, with defiance, and with pride. Her presence, I got goosebumps. Her presence alone was a declaration of Blackness is power. Dignity is unshakable, and resistance is absolutely never futile. In that moment, though, she empowered an entire movement, showing that standing fully in your truth can ignite courage and defiance well beyond courtroom walls and into the hearts of the oppressed. On November 18th, 2019, in West Oakland, a couple mothers, Dominique and Samira, along with their kids, they moved into a vacant home. It was an investor-owned home, dilapidated, let down, no one had lived there for years, and they transformed it into a quaint, beautiful home. Tired of watching their children sleep in cars while empty homes sat behind locked gates, they took bold action. Their homemaking was not an act of squatting, but a deliberate act of sacred disobedience aimed at drawing attention to the root causes of the housing crisis. They spurred a movement of inspired mamas and caretakers across the country to do the same holy work. Just this past year, a coalition of activists around the world set sail toward Gaza, determined to break the blockade and to deliver vital aid to those who are starving to death. On more than 40 boats from many countries, they carried food, medicine, and supplies, as well as the message of global love, of compassion, and of solidarity. Their journey was not mere charity. It was an act of revolutionary courage against the genocide and the occupation that is trapping millions. Intercepted by Israeli naval forces and detained, they faced intimidation, beatings, and starvation, yet their resolve never wavered. Another flotilla went back. Their actions have inspired a new wave of international struggles and many other flotillas. There's even one now going to the Amazon, where the next COP conference is happening, to defend the rights of indigenous people there. All of this, though, reminds us that ordinary people like you and like I can take extraordinary, holy action for human dignity and justice. These freedom fighters are calling the world, and definitely calling us Unitarian Universalists, into our best selves, what it truly means to be human. The selves that are unified by justice, equity, inclusion, pluralism, generosity, transformation, and all with love at the center. If you're a real UU nerd, you know what that means. Jet pig. So when we see Dr. Angela Davis walk into a courtroom with her afro out and her fist raised, when we see black and brown mothers occupying vacant homes just so their children have a place to sleep other than a car, when we see clergy, many of you in this room, standing in the streets taking rubber bullets by ICE just the other day over at the island, we feel the pull of something stronger, something larger than fear. Bold, loving action is holy and it's contagious. It wakes spirit inside us and it calls us to step forward, to take big risks, to act in ways we might never have thought imaginable. And action, my friends, is the real antidote to despair because it reminds us that change is made in our bodies and our hearts and with our voices, not just our hope, although hope is very important. Our best Unitarian Universalist selves emerge not in comfort, but in courage, in joining the struggle for the interconnected web of life, in taking our place beside the working class and oppressed. Because when others, like the Unitarian Universalist Society of San Francisco has for so many years, acts boldly, they teach others how to act boldly, and they do it. They share in that courage. We find both our power and our faith most fully alive in taking courage and watching those who have done the same. So my friends, take courage and let's continue to be the boldest church in this city. Amen and blessed be.